If you're a heat nursing technician or even a salesperson, why do people get so angry? Angry over price? And why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Silverman, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about, people get angry over price. And here's what it comes down to, is everything these days is way more expensive. And we all have a point of reference in our mind. We all have a belief about what things should cost. And so what homeowners don't realize is the cost of doing business in most places is really extreme. And I live in California, so any reference point that I use, you could probably cut it in half for the city, the town, or the jurisdiction you're in. If you're in a smaller market, smaller town, if I say that the average heating and air unit in Sacramento today probably starts at about 16, 17, 18, 20,000, people go, oh my goodness, it's like 10,000 where I'm at. Okay, it could be. It could be. But what they're not taking into account is the cost of living. So average house here in Sacramento starts at somewhere around a little bit over $500,000. Okay, in your town, your city, your jurisdiction, it could be $200,000-300,000. Price is relative to where you live. You've got all the taxes, and so here's what happens. You are the object, you are the vessel for saying, here's how much it is, and the person freaks out and goes, why is this so expensive? Comes down to that's what it takes to run a business. So they freak out. They think that you're trying to take advantage of them. They think that you're lying, you're cheating, you're stealing. In all realities, the cost of doing something is always way more than what people expect. So you could go online today as a homeowner, as a consumer, and see that a heating and air unit all in for all the parts and pieces is probably for a good brand. It's probably going to cost about $3,500. Probably right about there. $3,500, right? And the more efficient that a system is, the different brands, the higher it goes. Long gone are the days of, $1,000 for a condenser coil in a furnace. Like, that's 10 years ago. Hasn't been around. It's not around anymore. It's not going to happen. And so people have this belief in their mind of like, this is what it should be. Not realizing that in general construction, that when you look at the math and what is taught in college, there is a 4 to 7 time multiple on the cost, which says if you pay $3,500 for that piece of equipment, the construction multiple is 4 to 7 times that hard cost is where you're going to have a profitable business. And let's face it, nobody does this for free. If you don't have profits, nobody's going to work. And this right here is why you should join HVACTechSecret.com. I will give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, or discounted training. People get angry because you're the bearer of bad news. So sometimes you're the first dude or the first chick in. And you're like, yeah, capacitator's $300 or $400. They freak out. In their mind, I find these things online for $6, $10, $15. Well, keep in mind, if it's a big company, that big company's probably paying $4 or $5 each because they're buying hundreds of them. And people are like, well, it's not fair. It's like, okay, so somebody got sent out that is in a van or a transit or whatever similar type of vehicle that has $10,000 of parts in there, is paid a living wage, has insurance. The average person thinks that when they call and they're going to get a service done, it's going to be $100. Those days are long gone. So you end up being the bearer of bad news. It's super expensive. This is typically the part where homeowners jump into these videos and they're like, well, it's not fair. These systems shouldn't cost as much. You don't do that at a drive-thru at McDonald's. You don't do that at a drive-thru when you buy a burger or you buy a taco. Like, when you take a look at the price of everything, it's gone up. A tortilla costs like 7 cents. A scoop of beef costs like 12. Some cheese is going to cost you 2 or 3. A lettuce is going to cost you 4 or 5 cents. And that taco is going to cost you $5, $6, $7. But I don't see you at the drive-up window complaining and going, your multiple isn't fair. It's just you have an easier time of calculating it out for a trade or for a service. So be aware, people get angry because they feel like they're being taken advantage of, and it's not your fault. It's society. It is the cost of everything. Back in the day when Henry Ford created cars, he tried to pin and say, if your car cost $3,000, that's roughly what the wage was for a year of somebody. So it was a yearly wage to buy a car. And if you start tracking that and you start living in a place where it's super expensive, all these numbers scale out. So if you're working with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, slow things down, have the conversation, explain what's going on. Just realize sometimes they don't care. They think that a $4,500 unit is still viable in most marketplaces, which it's not. I'm going to tell you, not in California, not in Northern California, not in Southern California, maybe, possibly in Central. I don't know. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.